Raf!
James,
Now, Raf, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer extremely honestly.
yeah, I always do.
Are you in the Epstein files?
I have not checked.
I haven't checked either, but I have no memories of emailing that man.
No.
And I don't imagine why I would have.
No, but you even don't want, and there's some people, and to be fair, they look better than the people who responded or are like engaged, where it's like, how about that fella James Hennessy? You know him?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a few of those.
I actually think that is sort of the peak position to be in.
Yeah.
Related to the Epstein
Like
files.
Demis Hassabis is always like, hey, who's that smart fella in London?
Yeah. If Epstein was emailing someone being like, do you know Raf Dixon? Can we tee up a meeting? And that's the end of it.
That's it.
I reckon that is elite, because that suggests that you're interesting enough to be on Epstein's radar, but you are not degrading yourself by being accepted into his orbit.
Yeah.
Taleb is one of them, the Black Swan guy. He was like that in the records. But Elon Musk...
No, but he was even more like, the records of him are Epstein saying he doesn't want to meet with me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's extreme. Yeah, totally. That is best case. Best case scenario is like you actively rejected it. But that is, this episode we're going to talk a lot about Elon Musk and what's going on in Elon Musk's weird little empire. And unfortunately, we need to get out in front of the story and declare what's going on, because Elon, despite his previous denials that he'd ever communicated or dealt with Jeffrey Epstein, it unfortunately seems like he did.
Yes, but we're going to save that. We're going to save most of that because, yes, there was one fake
There was
news.
a fake one.
There was a fake one.
You might have seen the fake one.
Everyone saw the fake one, Girls for the Win, which, like, much like a lot of the things that Trump says, like, I feel like Girls for the Win is going to stick with me, and I'll just keep saying it, even though it's from a fake. It's from a fake email between
Elon Musk
and Epstein. I can see myself for the rest of my life saying "girls for the win" in certain circumstances, right?
Totally. But there was
some real stuff.
There was some real stuff in there as well. Anyway, we're going to talk about Elon Musk in a non-Epstein context as well.
After this break. This episode, we are going to talk about Elon Musk, SpaceX, xAI, how that's all coming together. Yep. We are going to talk about Elon and Epstein. That is going to be behind the paywall. Sorry. It's a little bit out of our remit to a certain extent. So yes and no. We've talked about, this is the free episode. I was going to say pedophile adjacent, but I didn't say it. So it's all good. We talked about strange people before.
Totally. We'll talk about some of the tech industry.
And Bill Gates. We'll talk about big tech
and Peter Thiel. We'll talk about a bit of the proximity to the Elon stuff. That's on the other side of the paywall. But in front of it, on our free episode, we're going to be talking about Elon's latest sort of financial pyrotechnics.
Yep.
With xAI, SpaceX. The Tesla earnings. We'll talk about that a bit.
Tesla earnings, yeah. Then in the paid episode as well, we're going to talk about Genie 3, world models, that kind of thing as well.
Google's new bits and pieces.
Yeah, Scuttlebutt. Molt Book, liftoff. Has takeoff been achieved? AIs have been let loose. Molt Book, they've got their own social network. They're starting their own languaguages.
Do AIs have their own social network? That's been the latest craze. We're going to talk about that. Actually, this concludes a big, for people who've been listening to Downroad for months, Raf made a prediction a few months ago, which I think, based on recent reporting from Reuters, has been vastly vindicated. That is again, this may be on the other side of the paywall, but those are the things we're talking about today.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. You guys have heard of him?
Yeah. So the big story today, it happened on the day we were recording. You're going to hear this on Thursday. That'll be Friday US time. But the big news...
No, it'll be Wednesday US time.
That's true. It'll be Wednesday US time. I don't understand how things work. Anyway, but the big story of this week is that Elon Musk has announced that SpaceX, which is his SpaceX exploration rockets plus Starlink, which is his satellite internet, is acquiring xAI. xAI, which owns, as its two primary assets, his AI model Grok, and also the social media platform X.
Yes, PKA.
Formerly known as Twitter. So, very strange arrangement whereby the company whose entire goal is building a reusable rocket to colonize the moon and Mars now also owns Grok, the AI platform which generates bikini photos of women online.
Including minors
at times. And also owns the social media network known as Twitter, which, say what you will about that platform over the years since it launched in 2006, has been a very vital part of global political, social, popular culture.
Yes. So
all of this is now being rolled up under the Rocket Company.
Yes. SpaceX, xAI, Twitter. Quick timeline. We talked about when xAI, sorry. It's so, these names are so annoying. xAI, Elon Musk's AI company, competitor to OpenAI.
Yep.
Well, actually, like almost specifically a competitor to OpenAI.
Yeah, a spite company.
We've told the history in mega brief. He actually founded OpenAI. He said it wasn't going to amount to anything, so he's left, got mad, started a rival company called xAI. xAI is Elon Musk's OpenAI. We've talked about it before. He bought Twitter, didn't want to buy it, overpaid for it. It was saddled in debt, and so he used his AI company to basically get it out of that mess.
Yep.
xAI bought Twitter, now known as X. xAI bought X. The justification being, we're going to use all of the real-time data that's happening on X to kind of make our xAI, our AI model, our large language model, better. Because now you get up-to-date information. You can look up what's happening right now on Grok, and you're going to get... Like, I'm saying this. I know that 50% of the audience, if not a large amount more, will know all this stuff. But it's so annoying that I have to say X, xAI, Grok, all these fucking words.
Yeah, no, it's very annoying.
Grok and xAI, basically the same thing. Grok is owned by xAI. But like the whole point is you had X, Twitter, saddled in debt. He got out of that mess by making his AI company buy it. So that kind of solved it. But now the AI company is saddled in debt and has a huge amount of expenses, like all the AI companies do. And that's being saved by SpaceX, the company that is actually earning money. And we're going to get into that, though.
We will. But I think it is actually worth going back in time. So even before Elon Musk got his dirty little paws on it, Twitter was always like the bastard stepchild of the social media revolution, in the case where it's like, Meta became one of the biggest revenue engines on Earth. No one can disagree with the fact that regardless of what you think about Meta, and you can have many, many derisive views about it, it is one of the most profitable revenue-generating engines in history. Meta and Google. Bangers.
Yeah.
You know, everything's been leading up to that.
Once you count your, like, daily active users in the multiple billions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to deny.
No, totally. And you have the ad engine to show them the things they would like to purchase.
Well, I can't think of that many businesses whose customers are in the multiple billions that don't have like a decent business model.
Exactly. Twitter always had the problem. This is Twitter back in the pre-Elon Musk era.
Which, for the record, has never had billions of...
No. Twitter always had the problem where it was kind of like, it had a much smaller network than Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
YouTube.
Twitter was always much smaller than those. You could argue that Twitter had like a much higher impact user base where like people who mattered, as in like your politicians, your cultural icons, your whatever.
Embassies.
Exactly. Your governments were using it to distribute information, whatever. But they were never in the real playing field in terms of revenue.
The advertising never worked.
No, it never worked. Elon Musk decided he wanted to buy it for essentially culture war reasons. He was like, it's too woke, whatever. He bought it back here, what was it, 2022? I'm saying off the top of my head, but I think that was right. He bought it. He successfully turned it into like a sort of right-wing political engine at the expense of some stuff. I think one thing, I saw someone post this, they were like, have you noticed how no celebrities post on X anymore?
That's true.
It's so true. Like, it used to be a place where like, that was the selling point.
Yeah.
Right? You could go on Twitter and you could like have a conversation with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Now, would many people want to do that? I don't know. But that was one of the selling points. There are no celebrities on Twitter anymore. There are tech people. There are tech celebrities. There are like weird right-wing
But you could
influences.
like Nicki Minaj could go off on you,
Yes.
in the past. I don't think Nicki's on Twitter anymore.
No. Anyway, so he bought it as like a right-wing culture war thing. But despite him setting up Twitter Premium and like revenue sharing and all that sort of stuff, he definitely never solved the problem of the fact that he paid $44 billion for Twitter. And the ad revenue never caught up. Subscription revenue never caught up. It didn't become the everything app, the payments platform. All that shit never happened. So he decided, okay, fuck, I have this other business, which is xAI, separate from X, which is my OpenAI competitor. Everyone's talking about AI, so it's very hyped. It's receiving a shitload of funding. I'm going to fold X into that. And the narrative makes sense because it's like X is like content spigot. It's a constant river of data that people are posting in real time that I can use to train my AI model.
Just to reiterate though, X/Twitter, the interest on the debt that he had to raise in order to buy
$44 billion to acquire it.
Yeah, but was like billions of dollars. And they just didn't have revenue to match. So it was just losing so much money. There was no business, and there's no way out of it.
With no vision that it was ever going to achieve anything.
Exactly. And so this was a perfect situation. We said it at the time. It's like,
great.
Everyone's pumping money into AI. People are happy to not see a return on AI for many years as long as they get their money in.
I will fold X
into
that.
in, and what's another $1 billion of losses when you can justify it by saying, well, we have this is our competitive advantage. This is our differentiation. No other AI company has Twitter to train on and to like access.
Exactly. And as a result, all the people who invested in X thinking he was going to save Twitter or whatever are made whole.
Yeah.
They are now investors in xAI, which is a whole new hype cycle. It's not connected to social media. They are now AI investors. That's very exciting. If you're a bank, you're an investor, you're like, fucking amazing. X was a shitty investment, but now I'm an investor in xAI. So
AI. I'm just another AI foundation model. Fast forward less than a year.
Not long at all.
And all of a sudden it's like, hold on.
xAI maybe not a great investment. Maybe not amazing.
Well, as well as like the whole market has become a little bit more skeptical of AI investment.
Correct.
Not in a huge way. This isn't like the bubble burst or anything like that, but like far more questions over. So when are we going to see a return on this investment? So you're spending how many tens of billions this year on data centers and graphics cards, and I will always call them graphics cards. You're spending how much on this infrastructure and CapEx? And okay, that's more money than we've ever heard of anyone spending on CapEx before, on data centers before. And we're going to see a return when?
When are we going to see that return?
But that's the conversation. That's basically the extent of the conversation. So, but when are we going to? You're going to start making money off this stuff, though, right?
Look at the current landscape. So you've got Google. Google are spending a shitload on AI, but Google, as we mentioned before, have one of the great revenue engines in history. It's all paid for by their actual insanely productive, insanely revenue positive, profitable engine, search, right? So it's like they may be pumping a vast amount of money into Gemini.
CapEx is over 100 bill.
Totally, but it's fractional compared
about 100 bill, sorry, around 100 bill.
But it's also, it is paid off to a large extent by what Google makes anyway. Meta are doing their thing, same deal. OpenAI, we're not going to pretend that they are revenue positive, but they're receiving a huge amount of investment, and people understand that they
are making money. Their revenue it's nowhere near their expenses,
but they're generating billions of dollars.
Exactly,
of revenue.
and it's doubling, every few months. They have a hockey stick-ish growth trajectory, and it's nowhere near. Like, as in, there is definitely legitimate questions over like their forward expenses. Is their revenue, is their growth ever going to match up to what they like their liabilities currently? Time will tell. But also, however, they are growing exceptionally quickly,
and they are making billions and billions of dollars. And also, if you look at them and you think, okay, who are the major players in AI right now? They would be in the top.
800 million monthly active users.
Yeah, they are.
That's insane.
If they're not number one, they're in the top 3, right? Same with Anthropic.
Yeah.
They have a huge enterprise value. They're generating 10 billion plus annually. If you're like, I'm going to invest in AI, I'm interested in AI, you're like, well, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they're all up the top in terms of who's achieving. There's investment. There's like, they're winning the race. You look at xAI, and aside from the controversy over generating child pornography, would you consider...
Not a great controversy to have.
They are, quote unquote...
I would say, and this is actually kind of seemingly like the minority position to a lot of people, at least on X. I think that that's possibly the worst thing. I'd put that as one of the worst things you could do is generate child pornography.
It's pretty bad.
I can't think of worse.
It's pretty bad. And like...
Some people think that generating pictures of, like the Queen and she, like the British monarchy and like they're diverse or whatever for 24 hours is worse than that. Okay, if that's your argument, so be it.
I do think...
I personally think that child porn is worse.
I do think putting children in bikinis is pretty bad. And it is like amplified by the fact that not only are you generating images of children in bikinis.
It's not even, I'm sorry that we have to bring it up, but children in bikinis with fucking donut glaze on their face.
I agree. It's very bad. And it's worsened by the fact that they're doing this while making no money. They're in it for the love of the game.
So that does make it worse.
So here's the thing.
Like if they were printing money off child porn.
So here is what the information reported this week. xAI has told investors that last year it burned $9.5 billion of cash through the first 9 months of 2025. And
so about around $1 billion a month, US.
About $1 billion a month. And the revenue for that period was $210 million.
Ooh.
So that puts the burn multiple at about 45x.
That's not great.
That's not great. And so what is your narrative, especially when it's like no enterprises, I know they have some they have contracts with the US Department of Defense, which is concerning that they've announced that. But and like the fact that they so clearly that they've done that is like a weird partisan anti-woke alignment thing that the Trump administration's like, oh, we'll give you a Pentagon contract to the illegal pornography machine. But anyway.
You're not beating the allegations.
And it's pretty clear that there's no enterprises that are forking over money for Grok. They have like the Twitter premium crowd.
Again, think about, we've talked about this a million times, like think about the due diligence.
Totally.
Of any just vaguely normal, like a SMB with 300 employees.
Yeah, exactly.
350 employees. It still has a 2-person legal department. They've got one person who's in procurement, you know what I mean?
Well,
and they've still got an IT team. Probably there's 50 people nowadays, And I'm talking about any industry, like take your pick, basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we can just go through Microsoft and just like Azure.
Yeah, we just have
AI,
yep.
Or we're on Google with Vertex AI. We can do our AI stuff through Google. We're on Amazon already. We can do it through Amazon. They've got access to all the different models.
Anthropic Claude is really hyped.
Yeah, but if we want to be a bit risky, we'll go OpenAI. We'll go directly with, but it's ChatGPT. They're the ones we all know as AI. And they've got a great, they've got a good.
Are we going to go with Grok? Just imagine that you are a Fortune 500 company, not even one of the big ones, not even tech, like Mondelez International that makes like food distribution. What's our AI partner? Grok. All right, it's the number 4. Like there are 3 massive, well-capitalized companies that are better, and it does come with the massive reputational hit that it's been involved with the production of child pornography. What do we do? Who is our guy? And you know what the result of that is? It is, as I said, $210 million versus $9.5 billion expense. So the point is it's like, I can see Elon's mind ticking.
Yes. Well, this is what I was getting to with like the long preamble of like Twitter wasn't making money, so it was bought by xAI.
Yep.
xAI not making money.
Not money.
So it is bought by SpaceX. So now all of that lives under the social media network, the LLM. It all lives under SpaceX. The rocket company.
The rocket company. Here's the really funny thing. So say what you will about Elon in the Epstein files. Personally unpleasant, no sense of humor. You can say all these things. Say what you will. He is very good at like financial pyrotechnics.
Oh, yeah.
He's good at that stuff. Think about, he used to have Tesla. He had Solar City, which was like the power company.
Yeah.
He rolled up Solar City into Tesla. I will stand by the argument that people say, oh, he's actually a moron. He's clearly not a moron.
Yeah.
He's clearly very, very good at like
raising capital,
hype, like as a salesman and a marketing guy. And also he's very good at like bringing in extremely smart, capable people
who are willing to work their ass off
and directing them towards a goal. He's really good at all that stuff, and it's paid off in all the stuff that he's actually achieved. I think those are actually his like sort of core abilities, those like main things. So he's done that with Tesla, and now he's really good at this idea of like taking an underperforming asset, finding some sort of like marketing, like futurist kind of way of like justifying why he's going to slam them together.
Yeah,
and that's what he's done here.
He's spinning plates. He's
really good at spinning plates.
Stacks of plates, the highest stacks of plates, and he just keeps doubling down and adding more plates to more sticks with plates. The metaphor breaks down, but like that's what he keeps doing. Same thing as like Tesla is not a car company because now we have like competition from China. We're a robot company. And like, before that though, it was never a car company. It was always like, it was an ecosystem company where, as I've said before, it's like you have the Powerwall charger in your home and you have the solar panels on your house, and that goes into the car, which like, runs your life, that has a graphics card, but then it had the AI as well. And then now it has the robot. And so don't you get it?
And exactly.
Now the car connects to the satellites.
Don't worry about the cars, even though I've been talking about cars.
Exactly. No, it's a robot. We're a robot company. Cars are just a type of robot.
We're an autonomy company.
The
cars are irrelevant.
The tie-up is that the reason why a rocket company has the AI company, which has the Twitter, is because we're doing data centers in space.
That's it. So here's the funny. So Elon showed up at Davos, World Economic Forum, and he randomly started talking about this idea of, this was a few weeks ago, obviously, when Davos was on. He randomly started talking about this idea of data centers in space. Now, this is a conversation that many companies have been having. There are startups.
It is a zeitgeist thing, because like Google has been saying it as well. Like they, announced their project about data centers in space or circling the world.
There's a lot of problems to solve, but the idea is you launch out your data centers and like solar arrays that power them. They sit in Earth's orbit, and they beam the data back down.
Look, I'm going to say my brain is too small to comprehend. Perhaps
we're both 100 IQ guys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a solid. I hope around 100, 105 maybe.
Sure.
No, I don't mean to big myself up.
No, but that's, I mean, why would you need any more?
Right? I only recently learned that it went above 100. I thought the 100 was like, it's like a UAI.
100's it. Yeah, you got it.
And I was like, 100 you're calling me 100 IQ podcast? Nice.
3 digits, folks. The big 100.
I thought it was a compliment.
Yeah.
But anyway, my feeble brain, my midwit brain sees a lot of problems with the idea of like putting graphics cards in space.
Sure, yeah, exactly. GPUs with solar arrays.
One is like, what if like it breaks? Like,
I mean, what are you doing about that?
What do you do if like one of them just like kind of breaks?
Yep.
The smarter people than me talk about vacuums and stuff, but even smarter than them, or maybe not, say, it's the perfect place to put heaps of graphics cards and power centers because it's cold. And
totally,
it's just they're always there. It solves problems.
Yeah, exactly. You're not dealing with the political situation on Earth about where you put data centers. They're all orbiting the Earth. They're expelling the biggest problem with data centers is obviously heat. I'm pulling this out of my ass, but I think it's right. I think like 40% of data center expenditure is like dealing with heat problems. There are issues to be dealt with, and obviously there's tons of technical hurdles. But
as well as power as well, like electricity, right? And this is like a way to capture,
and it's
solar
more efficient to do solar power when you're out of the Earth's atmosphere. And
so again, I'm not smart enough to actually judge how feasible it is. No, exactly. But smart people seem to be thinking that it is feasible.
Exactly. There are smart people who think it's true, and also
smart people who think it's dumb.
Yeah, totally. But also, like, regardless of where you sit, it's still a long way away. But Elon brought this up at Davos during his speech and was a bit random. And then, hey presto, because he's obviously been thinking about this. He's come out, and this is literally the justification for the whole SpaceX acquiring xAI play, is him saying, hey, this is all about orbital data centers.
Yeah.
Our Starship, which is obviously like the major rocket product of SpaceX, is going to be the vehicle to fly these orbital data centers up. We're going to use that to do it. This is just my thesis. That may be in the roadmap, but I think the more proximate cause is that SpaceX is a highly profitable company.
Yeah.
It had $2 billion of free cash flow last year. Starlink is really successful. So, like, SpaceX is generating a huge amount of revenue from Starlink. Plus,
Starlink is a satellite internet.
That's the satellite.
As well as it's just way cheaper. Like, lots of people want to fly things up into space. Lots of people want to put satellites up there. And who do you go to? It's basically a monopoly.
It has a shitload. Exactly. There's no competitors there.
Other than random governments who do it. It costs way more for a government to do it. So most governments are like, why don't we just get SpaceX to send our satellite up?
Regardless of your opinion of Elon Musk and whatever, SpaceX is a super successful company. Even putting aside the weird colonizing Mars stuff that he's doing, like the satellite internet
idiotic,
stuff.
But yes.
Sure. I mean, maybe it'll happen, but
no.
I wouldn't say it's a proximate concern.
Maybe it'll happen, but it seems like a very stupid idea
sure.
to me. Colonizing Mars, I'm happy to go out there and be like, I've went on a rant before. It's like, what, exactly. and
then what? What are we doing up there?
What are we doing up there? How many people?
I will not be volunteering to be the first guy on Mars.
Like
that sucks.
Yeah. You're going to, build, how is it going to be self-sustaining? Where are you going to get your chips from? You're going to build fab up there? You're going to build a fab?
On Mars?
You're going to build a fab on Mars?
Yeah.
You can't build one in fucking Arizona.
No, there's issues there. But regardless of what we're looking at, like if you look at Elon Musk's whole empire across all the companies he owns, SpaceX is, I think, pretty clearly the most successful in terms of it is generating billions of dollars of revenue, billions of dollars of profit. So good for him. xAI, obviously not. They haven't led in their fields. They're competing with a whole bunch of other companies. I think this is like the actual story. Across Elon Musk's whole thing, he has like the sort of the guts and the moxie to be like, I'm going to like autistically pursue this field.
Yes. And
then he deals with the problem of when other people compete. So in auto, I think looking at the Tesla earnings, and I found this really interesting. So Tesla earnings beat expectations this quarter, but not by a huge amount. And they were still pretty dire on the automobile side. So it's like he discontinued 2 of his major vehicle lines. He's only got a few lines left. Because it's pretty clear that like Tesla was a massive innovator in the EV space. But now that they're competing with China and even some of the European car manufacturers who are
BMW,
who are picking up on things and like dealing with it, they're losing, and there's no
even Hyundai, like, and a bunch of the South Koreans and stuff.
And he's also dealing with the fact where it's like it's still an ongoing concern that there are people who just will never buy a Tesla now because of his weird politics stuff.
Yeah,
and I don't think that's going to resolve itself.
No,
Xiaomi is politically pristine.
Yes.
You can buy a Xiaomi with no concerns.
No, you're not going to get your car keyed for buying a Xiaomi. That's what they always say. No one gets fired for buying a Xiaomi.
No one's putting a bumper sticker on their Xiaomi saying, I bought this before Xi went crazy. So, like,
I knew it was spazzing.
And I loved it. So Tesla is... Which is literally the entire reason that they've now pivoted on the Tesla side to say, we're an autonomy company. We're about these Optimus robots. We're about robo-taxis. Don't even fucking worry about the Model Y. Don't worry.
What the hell? You worry about family cars?
Yeah, that's nothing. Even though for the past 15 years, that's been the whole story of Tesla. It's like, we're going to electrify the world's fleet
90% of cars will be Teslas.
Yeah. I mean, here's another thing from Tesla. The Tesla Semi.
What happened to the Semi?
The trucks. The one customer is Pepsi. Pepsi did a big contract to buy a whole bunch of Tesla Semi trucks. I don't know where the fuck that is right now. You haven't heard, he hasn't talked about that in a while.
No.
And the Cybertruck was very obviously a failure in the sense that it didn't sell nearly as many as he wanted. But here's the thing. I'm sure Elon would love to fold Tesla through some narrative contrivance into SpaceX?
Well, I don't know. There is some benefit to keeping them separate. You know, like there is, he has this kind of web of different companies, which is not normal for a CEO to have, just a swathe of different companies that you're running at any one time, typically not like smiled upon.
Yeah.
To be like, oh yes, my attention is split between all these different things and the government.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
But like, there is some benefit to him being able to be like, you know, the boring company, his tunneling company, that just kind of went nowhere. And
yeah,
we move on from that. And it's not taking him down. Your typical founder would be like, I am all in on fucking making a digging company.
No, yeah, exactly.
The dig through mountains. And if it fails, I fail.
Yep.
But for Elon, he can just be like, I just don't talk about that anymore.
No.
Neuralink, it's like, oh, it's doing some cool stuff. Is it ever going to make money?
We should also bring to the fact that, like, he has to deal with a whole bunch of annoyance and stress with the fact that, like, Tesla's shareholders just fucking hate him doing any of that stuff.
Yeah.
They like the fact that it adds to, like, the Elon mystique, which pumps the share price.
Yeah.
But the moment they feel like Elon is spending too much time on SpaceX or xAI or whatever it is, they're like, why aren't you putting this time into the public company that we are shareholders in?
Yes.
He cannot merge Tesla into SpaceX even if he wanted to.
No.
Because it's a public company.
Yeah, but also it's kind of too, like, they're almost too big now. Like SpaceX, he's claiming, as part of this new thing, he's claiming that SpaceX's valuation is $1 trillion, which is quite insane, to be honest. Like, as in, I mean, to be fair, its last fundraising round was like 800 million. It is there and thereabouts. It's not completely out of the ordinary. But I believe he's valuing SpaceX at $1 trillion by this deal, and xAI at 250 billion.
Yeah, the total evaluation now they're merged is 1.25 trillion,
which puts it in the biggest company.
And they're expecting, so they still want it to go public this year.
Yeah,
at $1.25 trillion. And the funny thing is, the information article today quoted a handful of SpaceX investors, and SpaceX has obviously been one of the most hyped private companies for a very long time, and it spoke to a bunch of investors who were kind of like, I don't know about this because, you know, being able to sell rockets to Mars, satellite internet, which is a very profitable business, all this stuff, this is good. I can easily do this. But now you've kind of complicated the narrative by bringing in, oh, by the way, it also includes like the fourth best LLM.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've exposed this to a really hypey market, but you've exposed this in the sense that it's like you're not even close to the number one competitor.
Yeah.
You're not Anthropic, you're not OpenAI, you're not Google. That's kind of like a dead weight. Well,
it confuses the narrative. It goes from like rocket space to rocket space and also LLM.
Exactly, a subpar LLM.
But so I should say, like, their valuation, I just quickly looked it up, puts them between 9 TSMC at 1.5 trillion and 10 Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah, right.
1.04.
Sure.
So you just slot SpaceX and X between them. Tesla is at 1.5, one above TSMC, which even that, like...
Yeah, exactly. Tesla having... Yeah, exactly. Elon Musk having two companies in that.
Like, Tesla being worth more than TSMC. TSMC obviously being the place that builds every advanced semiconductor on the planet.
Again...
but, you know, sure. That's crazy. I'm sorry. The rocket company sounds good. It's making money. That's great. But
Elon,
TSMC, Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah. I mean, I get Elon's thinking where he's like, because obviously Elon's a hype man. He loves hyping things. His Tesla and his other businesses have always been kind of like an index fund for Elon Musk plus the future. Yeah. It's like, if you believe in this vision, this cyberpunk future, you buy Tesla stock.
Yeah, as well as like, well, he's fucking 50x'd my money before.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he'll do it again.
You know, never bet against Elon. That kind of shit.
Exactly.
And you can kind of see how that all coalesces on SpaceX, where it's like, it is such a future bet of like colonizing Mars, making humanity multiplanetary. He can be like, yeah, that's my future bet. I'm folding it all into SpaceX. We're going public. And if you believe that at some point in the next X years, humanity is going to live on cities on Mars, buy this stock. And there's no one else you can buy that's in that realm.
No.
If you're like, fuck,
you're into it, if you love the idea of like space, if you love space, you love space and making heaps of cash,
you bet on SpaceX.
Right.
Whereas constituent parts, if you love the idea of like human networking, you're not betting on X. You're investing in Meta. Yeah. You're investing in Google.
Yeah, if you believe that like LLMs can lead us to like more productivity, potentially in an enterprise context, as well as potentially like subscription
Bet on
revenue.
Google, bet on Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not buying it. But if you think human beings are going to live on Mars, and it's going to be a huge extension of whatever, fucking bet on SpaceX. So I can see him folding all that shit in. It's an interesting division of his empire because it's like, all right, you believe in space, you believe in his future vision of interplanetary colonization. Bet on that. If you believe in robo-taxis plus humanoid robots, at this point, no one should believe that Tesla's EV thesis makes any sense.
No.
There are so many competitors.
Yeah.
It's to a certain extent commoditized. I don't know if you saw it. The Wall Street Journal did like a story where one of their reporters reviewed one of the new like Xiaomi, like, I don't know what it was. I can't remember the model is, but it's like a sort of like a really sleek sports car-esque sort of thing. And they had specially imported into the United States to drive. And they were like, this is the sickest car I've ever seen. This is so fucking good.
Well, I mean, again, Daniel was early on this. Remember when like Xiaomi first dropped the in full Mandarin, no subtitle tour of their like.
I was like, "What? You're not beating
personless factory like a year and a half." We reported
like,
on Down Round.
You're like not the Berlin Gigafactory is not beating that shit.
No, like you take one look at this 1.5 minute video with Chinese subtitles, but also Chinese voiceover, and you're like, "Oh, okay, they've won." The Chinese have won. They've been building battery, like even fucking Tesla's batteries come from China. Yeah,
like. They're fully vertically integrated.
Yeah.
There's just no, I don't see.
I mean, the BYD Yangwang is a sick car too.
I am happy in the same way that when we were in the automobile era and the CRT TV era, we were like, the Japanese have got it.
Yeah.
Sony annihilated the Tritron with the CRT era. They nailed that whole thing. They nailed the Toyota method. They owned combustion vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Chinese
motorcycles, obviously.
Yeah, the Japanese did super well there.
Same way, it's just like batteries, EVs, just they got it. Yeah, they win.
Chinese have got it. And Elon clearly understands actually. He's like, fuck, all right, we got to make robots.
And I mean, he's up against the Chinese again. Maybe that's why he's like, okay, fuck it, space,
fuck. We're going to Mars, folks.
Well, the China one thing the Chinese aren't good at is planes. So let's go rockets.
China can't do rockets. I actually fully believe that. Americans, if you think about like building rockets that can go launch stuff into orbit or beyond, you would bet on the Americans in that regard right now.
I mean, I'd never bet against the Chinese.
No, I wouldn't, but
no,
they are struggling. They can't do planes.
It just doesn't feel as, air stuff. Don't get me wrong, they were good at kites. Yeah. And they were good at fireworks, historically, I mean.
They got that, but America's...
Drones, but as soon as you get any higher up than kites, fireworks, and drones, I feel like they're on shaky footing, the Chinese, right now. Again, never bet against them, but... Right now, you go the Americans over the Chinese.
Certain aspects of like SAS.
Even the Russians, they know the air as well.
That's true. Yeah, you look at the Americans, you think SAS, you think like really, really top tier pharmaceuticals. You think aeroplane engines.
Yep.
They've got that stuff on lock, even though they're having issues with
high finance.
Well, yeah, exactly. Moving like spreadsheets and moving money around.
Yeah.
Chinese are catching up, but they're not there yet. But yeah, when it comes to batteries and stuff, don't even fucking worry about it. So I guess like Elon's like, you can go to Mars and you can like while you're on Mars, any woman you see, you can put her in a bikini. I've got that whole supply chain on lock.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're going to talk about Maltbook, but we've gone super long on this episode.
Yep. So
should we keep it quick though? Or should we put it behind the paywall?
We'll put it behind the paywall, folks.
Maltbook, our LLM's gone rogue.
Have they? Yeah, exactly.
Have we gone vroom? Have we reached takeoff? They're saying that we've reached takeoff, folks, that they're taking over now. AI is already plotting against us. That's what they're saying.
If you've thought that over the past couple of weeks, because there's been a lot of news coverage of Maltbook, we're going to dissuade you of that. But you have to...
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I might be into it. Okay. You don't know.
All right, let's see.
So we'll talk about it after the paywall. We'll talk about Genie 3, world models, computer game's dead.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Are video games dead?
Video games dead.
The markets say yes. We say no.
Maybe some scuttlebutt. We're going to have to do far out. There's a lot behind the paywall, but
that's all right.
You're going to love it.
That's good. So if you haven't subscribed to Down Round Premium, you should. It's www.downround.net. Many of you have been doing that over the past month. It's one of our most...
We're at a loss as to why.
We're not 100% sure why, but a lot of people have been subscribing over the past month. So you should be feeling FOMO right now. Get on there, subscribe to Down Round Premium, downround.net, and we will see you on the other side of the paywall.
Mm-hmm.